Welcome to the main event. This is True Ring News Network, your ringside access to WWE news and drama. Subscribe and let's rumble. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan didn't need a bell or an entrance ramp to command attention. A brief backstage moment after Raw went off the air carried more weight than many in-ring segments, leaving the WWE Universe buzzing long after the broadcast ended. Ripley's presence alone shifted the atmosphere, intense and purposeful, while Morgan stood firm with the confidence of a champion who refuses to be overshadowed. This was not a scheduled confrontation or a polished promo. It felt raw, unscripted, and emotionally charged. The tension between them has been building for months, shaped by championship gold, pride, and unresolved history. In that brief exchange, it became clear that their rivalry is far from finished. Sometimes, the most important moments in WWE happen when the cameras feel least prepared, and this was one of them. A backstage scene that changed the conversation. When the cameras cut backstage, the mood instantly felt heavier than usual. This wasn't a casual walk and talk or a routine interview setup. Rhea Ripley approached with purpose, her body language controlled but intense, while Liv Morgan held her ground without hesitation. The energy between them suggested unfinished business rather than spontaneous confrontation. WWE often uses these backstage encounters to quietly redirect storylines, and this moment fit that pattern perfectly. There was no need for raised voices or dramatic gestures. The tension spoke for itself. Moments like this matter because they blur the line between character and emotion, making rivalries feel personal. This wasn't about a single match result. It was about positioning, respect, and control within the women's division. The history that fuels their tension. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan share a history defined by competition and contrast. Ripley built her reputation through dominance, long title reigns, and physical authority. Morgan, by contrast, carved her path through resilience, timing, and an ability to capitalize on opportunity. Their rivalry represents two philosophies colliding. Ripley believes championships are claimed through overwhelming presence. Morgan believes survival and strategy matter just as much as power. Over time, their encounters have layered frustration on both sides. Each win and loss added emotional weight, turning competitive rivalry into something more personal. WWE thrives on these long-term dynamics, where history quietly fuels every interaction. That is why even a brief backstage exchange between them carries so much significance. Why Roxanne Perez's presence matters. Roxanne Perez, standing beside Liv Morgan, changed the entire dynamic of the confrontation. She wasn't positioned as an observer or background figure. She looked alert, confident, and ready, signaling that she belongs in the conversation. Perez has already proven she can compete at the highest level, and her presence added complexity rather than distraction. WWE often introduces rising stars into established rivalries to test audience reaction and elevate new talent organically. Perez's involvement suggests that this story is expanding, not narrowing. She represents ambition and upward momentum, a reminder that the women's division is constantly evolving. Her calm demeanor in such a tense moment spoke volumes about her readiness. Rhea Ripley's silent statement. Rhea Ripley didn't need to say much for her message to land. Her posture, focus, and timing conveyed intent more effectively than words. Ripley's character has always been rooted in certainty. When she enters a space, it signals that something unresolved demands attention. This confrontation felt less like a challenge and more like a reminder. WWE often uses Ripley's presence to reset the hierarchy within the division. Her return to the spotlight suggests unfinished business, not desperation. Ripley doesn't chase moments, she reclaims them. This backstage interaction reinforced that narrative without relying on overt confrontation, making it even more effective. Liv Morgan's champion mentality on display. Liv Morgan's response was just as important as Ripley's approach. Wearing championship confidence, she refused to be intimidated or displaced. Morgan has grown into a champion who understands both perception and psychology. Her refusal to step back communicated that her position is earned, not borrowed. WWE champions are defined not only by victories, but by how they carry themselves when challenged. Morgan's posture showed she understands the weight of the role she occupies. She didn't escalate the situation, but she didn't retreat either. That balance reinforces her credibility and keeps her firmly at the center of the division's narrative. Backstage pressure. In a crowded division, the women's division on Raw is one of the most competitive environments in WWE. Every backstage interaction carries strategic weight. Championships, contender spots, and future opportunities are constantly in flux. When performers cross paths backstage, it's rarely accidental. This confrontation felt like a pressure point where ambition, status, and timing intersected. WWE thrives on these environments because they mirror real competition. Everyone is watching. Everyone is calculating. Ripley's arrival, Morgan's response, and Perez's positioning all reflected that reality. This wasn't chaos. It was calculated tension, and that's often more compelling than outright conflict. Fan reaction and online momentum. Almost immediately, fans began dissecting the confrontation online. Clips circulated rapidly, sparking debate and speculation. Some fans called for a triple threat scenario, while others wanted a focused singles rivalry reignited. This type of organic discussion is exactly what WWE storytelling aims to generate. When audiences invest emotionally, storylines gain momentum beyond the screen. WWE often leans into these reactions, allowing fan energy to shape creative direction. The buzz surrounding this moment suggests that whatever comes next will arrive with heightened anticipation. Attention is currency in WWE, and this segment earned plenty of it. Possible directions WWE could take. This confrontation opened multiple narrative paths. WWE could build toward a high-stakes triple threat that tests alliances and ambition. Alternatively, the story could split into parallel rivalries, allowing each competitor to shine individually. WWE often uses backstage moments like this as flexible foundations rather than fixed conclusions. The advantage is adaptability. Creative teams can respond to crowd reaction, performance, and timing. No matter the direction, the groundwork has been laid. Stakes have been established, and motivations are clear. That flexibility is what keeps weekly storytelling engaging and unpredictable. Why this moment feels like a turning point. This wasn't just another backstage segment. It felt like the ignition point for a defining chapter in the women's division. Ripley's intensity, Morgan's resolve, and Perez's rising presence combined into a moment that promised more than it revealed. WWE excels when it trusts subtlety, allowing tension to simmer rather than explode immediately. This confrontation did exactly that. It raised questions without answering them and set expectations without confirming outcomes. Those are the moments that linger with fans. Whatever direction WWE chooses next, this exchange will be remembered as the moment everything shifted.